In this question, we will solve polynomial equations by factoring. Here we have been told a rectangular box has dimension of x inches, x plus 5 inches and x minus 2 inches. The volume of the box is 30x cubic inches. Find the dimension of the box, explain your reasoning. Now, what is the volume exactly? It's all the three dimensions multiplied. It's length times width or breadth times height is equal to volume. What is the length? It's x plus 5 times x minus 2 is the breadth and the height is x, that is equal to 30x. Now you might be thinking, okay, I can cancel this and this x out. Yes, you can, but then you should make sure that you have added x is equal to 0. But instead of that, don't just cancel at this minute. Let's simplify the left side. Let us try to multiply here. Let's leave x because at the end we can just add x to both the terms. Over here, x times x, x times minus 2, 5x, and minus 5 times minus 2. So it'll be x squared, it's minus 2x, plus 5x, and then minus 10. This all of this is multiplied with x. That is 30 times x. Now here then, I'll multiply this x, it'll become x cubed minus 2x. Okay, now let me simplify this. What is minus 2x plus 5x? It's positive 3x, but I have one more x to be multiplied, so it's 3x squared minus 10x, that is equal to 30x. So now we can see this 30x, let's get it inside. So what happens is x cubed plus 3x squared, this plus 30 becomes minus 30 and minus 10 will be minus 40x is equal to 0. Okay, now we have got 0 at one side. We can simplify this. How do we simplify? Let's remove x outside. It'll be x cubed plus 3x minus 40, that is equal to 0. So now there are two numbers equal to okay, this is not x cubed, it's x squared. Okay, why? Because x is removed out. Why did we do this? We got right side equal to 0 now, and now what we can say is this is either equal to 0 or this term is equal to 0. So one of the solution is x equals 0. What about the whatever is inside? How do we solve it? X squared plus 3x minus 40 is equal to 0. I'll do the actual method and then I'll tell you the shortcut calculator method as well. Here now, what is the coefficient of x squared? It's 1 multiplied by minus 40 is minus 40 itself. And what is this term? It's divided by 3. So we need two factors, two terms, that two numbers that multiply to give us minus 40 and added up gives us 3. How we do is, we know this is 40, right? What are the factors of 40? I'll start with 2. 2 times 20. It's 4 times 10. See, as I write them, I'm subtracting. 20 minus 2, it's not possible. 10 minus 4, not possible. Now after 4, 5 is not 5. 5 times 8. Yeah, this is possible, isn't it? Because 8 times 5 is 40. So I'll just take this as minus 5. And then when I add it up, 8 minus 5 is 3. So it's 8 and minus 5. So here we can split it out, the middle term, as 8x minus 5x minus 40. That is equal to 0. Now we can take the common terms out. What is the common? It's 8 plus x plus 8 is remaining because I've just taken x out of these two terms. And from here, I'm going to take minus 5. So I'll get the x plus 8 itself. And now what we are going to do, see, this is basically writing like x times a. Let me write a capital A. Minus 5 times a. Is that okay? Because a and a is same. X plus 8 and x plus 8 is a. So I can remove this a common out, distributive property, and I'm remaining with x minus 5. So I'll remain with x minus 5. If I remove x plus 8 outside, that's a value, isn't it? So this is it. So here we are having x is equal to minus 8 and x is equal to positive 5. These are the solutions. It's either 0, minus 8 and 5. So which do you think is the most realistic solution? Of course, it must be 5, isn't it? Because 5 inches of height, yes, makes sense. 5 and 10 inches of length makes sense, and over here it is 8 inches of width, makes sense. But if it is 0, then it's going to be 0 height, doesn't make sense. Negative number also doesn't make sense. So the only possible answer is 5. I hope that's clear. So yeah, that's what is considered. Therefore, x is 5. It can't be any other numbers. Now let me show you a few shortcut methods. First thing, if you just type mod 5 and 3 here, after we get the cubic equation, see this one, we can directly, sorry, mod 5 and 4, we can directly solve this. What is the coefficient before x cube? It's 1. Then we have 3, it's minus 40, and there is no constant term, so we write 0, and the answer is 5 minus 8 and 0. Or after we remove the x term outside, then we know x is 0. What about these two? Mod 5 and 3, the coefficient is 1, 3, and lastly we have minus 40. So the answer is 5 and minus 8. But how can we, avoid this writing? How can we avoid this step? Whatever I've done over here, right? You can avoid that. I'll show you how. It's all that once you get the quadratic equation over here, put it in the calculator. If I put in the calculator, the coefficients 1, 8, see over here, 1, 3, and minus 40. I put it in over here. The answer is 5 and minus 8. So basically, I won't have these steps. I will only jump to the answer directly. Okay, because from the calculator, I know the answer is x is minus 8 and 5. Or 5 and minus 8. Then what I'm going to do is above step, I'm just going to get this inside. It's going to be plus 8, x is minus 5, that is equal to 0. Okay. So now here then, if you know so much, why don't I just multiply it over here? X times x, x squared. X times minus 5, it'll be minus 5x. 8 times x plus 8x. And lastly, minus 40, that is equal to 0. So this is how we can trace back the steps. You don't need to tell how you got this, but from the answer, you can write these two steps and that is fine. The reason I'm telling you the shortcut is it's the written exam. So you write the answers and then trace back the steps if you're getting confused to get the two numbers. Okay? Because you can write so much, and if you directly jump to the answer, you may get marks. It's fine. You can use your calculator, and this is done. You will get full marks, but sometimes you may not. So if your teacher exactly wants all these steps, then write the answer and trace back two steps. That is fine. I hope this is clear. And so the answer was x is equal to 5, and then just substitute it back in this. So if you put 5 plus 5, it's 10. You can see 10 inches of length, 8 inches of width. It should be, sorry, it's 5 minus 2, not 8. It's 5 minus 2. It's 3 inches of width, and height is of 5. What about the next problem? The combined volume of a cube and a cylinder is 1000 cubic inches. If the height of the cylinder is twice. Okay, first let's write what is given. The volume of a cube and a cylinder. Cube plus cylinder and cube is equal to 1000 inches cube. That's the volume. Now what is cube exactly? Side power 3, right? Side. This is a cube. So here how we find all the dimensions, just multiply the dimensions 3 times. The width, the length, and the height, they must be equal. So that is, imagine that is x, so I'm just taking x cubed. What about the cylinder? What is the volume? It's 2 pi r square, pi r square h, not 2. 2 is the surface area, pi r. This is pi r square h. And here you go, that is the volume of the cylinder. It's very simple, in fact. Cylinder is like this, right? What is this? It's a circle. What's the area of a circle? Pi r squared. That is the cross-sectional area. But cylinder is lots of, cross-sections of circles, right? There are so many cross-sections. How many cross-sections? It depends on the height. That's the height. So if you multiply the area of one cross-section with the height, you get the volume of a cylinder. That's the entire volume. That is equal to 1000. Now here they have told something. If the height of the cylinder h is twice the radius. Okay, so I'll just write over here. H is 2 times radius. And the side of the cube, okay, the side, I've taken it as x, isn't it? That is 4 times the radius. X is 4 times the radius. We need to find the radius of the cylinder to the nearest inch. Okay, so this is given as 4r, that's the radius, whole cube, plus pi r squared times 2 times r, that is equal to 1000. It is simplified further. What is 4 times 4 power 3? It is 1632 to 64. 4 cubes is 64. R power 3 plus pi r. See now, r square minus r multiplied by r. It will be r power 3. And this 2, let's write it out over here. That is equal to 1000. So what next? You can see this is 64 and this is 2 pi. They're constants, r cube and r cube. So what you can basically do is, I'll remove out r power 3. It'll be 64 plus 2 pi. That is equal to 1000. They need it nearest tenth. So I'll just take it to the other side. R cube will be equal to 1000 divided by 64 plus 2 pi. If I put this in the and then you can take the cube root on both the sides. So cube root of 1000 divided by 64 plus 2 pi is the radius of this particular cylinder. Let's use a calculator and solve this up. Here then, it's shift and this symbol here, I guess. Yes, that's the cube root symbol. And what are the terms? It's 1000 divided by 64 plus 2 pi. That is equal to 2.4. See, nearest tenth of an inch, it's 2.4. That's it. Now, you can even get your answer from the first step itself. Check it out over here. X power. Now, okay, this is not possible. You can't take it as x. From here, from this step, once you substitute in terms of r, open the bracket, it's 4 times radius, which we consider it as variable x, close the bracket, cube it up to the power 3. That is equal to, sorry, it's not equal to, it's plus. This is plus, pi is over here, shift pi, multiplied by the radius, that is x squared, multiplied by 2 times again radius. Okay, so it's pi x squared times 2x. That is equal to what exactly? It is equal to 1000. Shift and solve and then press equal to. You can see it's 2.4. So whichever method you do, you can just check your answer from that. So here the answer is 2.4 and that will be the final answer. Open response question. The volume of the figure is x cubed minus 9x. The surface area of another figure is 8x squared. Disregarding the units, the volume of the first figure equals the surface area of the second figure. What is the possible value of x? It's very important to understand it's disregarding the units, because the units over here is in terms of cubic and over here it's squared. You can't equate them. They are two different quantities altogether. Area and volume are not equal. Now here they are just telling units are not considered. So therefore we can just equate these terms. That's it. So volume equals surface area. That will be x power 3 minus 9x is equal to 8x squared. Let's take this to the other side. It will be x power 3 minus 8x squared minus 9x. That is equal to 0. You can take x outside as common term. You'll have x squared minus 8x minus 9. That is equal to 0. So we know one of the term is x is equal to 0. And one more term is x squared minus 8x minus 9. That is equal to 0. Now, how do we do this? Since it's the writing question, I'll use the calculator and then I'll trace back the steps. So here we'll just solve it up. Mod 5 and 3, the coefficients are 1, minus 8 and minus 9. So it's 9 and negative 1. This are not the factors. The opposite sign of this are the factors. It's minus 9 and positive 1. That means it'll be minus 9 and minus 8. Because now we are getting the answers here. It's positive 9, x is equal to minus 1. Now you need to take it inside. It'll be x minus 9, x positive 1, that is equal to 0. And now start multiplying. It'll be x squared minus 9x x squared. And there is 1x. Sorry, I did like this and like this. That's fine. Now it is plus x and minus 9. What I did is I wrote the answer and then I traced back the steps. So this would be the two values. Now here, x, can it be 0? Because see, there are three possible solutions. X is 0, 9 and 1. Now here, since it's squared and over here also minus sign is there, you can consider minus 1 because it's just a numerical value. It's not a real value, isn't it? 9 is possible, but 0 cannot be possible. It wouldn't make sense. You're just equating identity, 0 and 0 there. That's how we solve it. You can even verify your answer by mod 5 and 4 from the first step. 1 minus 8 minus 9, and lastly it's 0. It's 9 minus 1 and 0. 9 minus 1 and 0 are the final answers. But here the value of x is only two possibilities, minus 1 and 9. This is how we do it. Solving up over here, they have written how it's solved, but if you just write the steps, that's more than enough. You find the solutions, but see, it's the writing part, so let's solve it by writing. Here we need to use the u is equal to x squared method. So I'm assuming u is equal to x squared. So what's going to happen here? That is u squared minus u minus 2 is equal to 0. Why? Because if u is equal to x squared, what is u power 2? It is x power 4. So x power 4 is u power 2 minus u minus 2. Now again, I'm going to use the calculator method, directly get the answer, and then I'll trace back the steps. It'll be mod 5 and 3. Now what is the coefficients? It's 1 minus 1 and lastly it's minus 2. And here we go, it is 2 and minus 1. Those are the two answers, 2 and minus 1. But that'll be at the bottom, x is equal to 2 and x is equal to minus 1. Now then, what is the above step? It'll be x minus 2, x positive 1, that is equal to 0. So it'll be x, it's in terms of u's. My bad, I forgot to write it as u. Just remember which variable you have chosen over here. It's not x, it's u. So everywhere you need to write it as u, and u over here. So u times u is u power 2. U times 1 is plus u minus 2u and minus 2. That is equal to 0. And then what next? That's done for the u, but u is not the answer. This is the values, right? You need to put over here x squared. So u is equal to 2, but x squared is equal to 2 actually, and x squared is equal to minus 1. So now I'm not going to solve it using mod 5, 3 or anything. I'm directly going to take square roots on both the sides. So x is equal to square root 2, but remember it's plus or minus. And over here as well, x is equal to square root minus 1 plus or minus. Is this possible? This is not possible. You'll get undefined because you can't have a square root of negative number. So what you do over here is you write it as imaginary number because I is equal to square root minus 1. Hope you remember this. So plus or minus I, that is square root of negative 1. So which are the solutions? Yeah, this is solution. Yes, A. This is correct. That's it. None of the others are correct. A and B is the only solution. I hope this is clear. Here we have again two rectangles. Evelyn is making two rectangle tabletops. The dimensions of both are shown. If both designs have the same area, what's the value of x? So that means the area of this and the area of this is the same, but the dimensions are not the same. Length and width varies. So what you need to do is find the area. X plus 4 times x, that will be equal to what? 2x plus 3 times x minus 2. So let's just do the multiplication. X times x is x squared plus 4x, that will be equal to 2x squared minus 2x plus 3x and minus 6. Now let's leave all this over here because 2x squared is bigger. I'll take all these left terms over here to the right. It'll be 2x squared minus x squared. And what? Okay, I just realized over here it's 2x times minus 2. It's minus 4x. My bad. See here, it's 2 times minus 2, so it's minus 4x. And so here I'll have minus 4x plus 3x. And then I'll get this minus again 4x. And lastly minus 6. Why? Because I got this 4x inside. That's minus 4x. Now this all is equal to 0. So here we will have x squared. 2 minus 1 is 1. X squared minus 8 plus it's minus 5x and lastly minus 6. That is equal to 0. Now I'm going to use the shortcut method. That is directly mod 5, 3 and then do the previous steps. Here mod 5 and 3 gives us coefficients of 1, minus 5 and lastly minus 6. The answer is 6 and negative 1. So the final answer is x is equal to 6 and x is equal to minus 1. So we know the answer must be x is equal to 6. Why? Because you can't have minus 1 as the dimension. Now, what about the previous steps here? It'll be x minus 6 and x plus 1 are the factors that is equal to 0. And over here, you can do x squared minus 6x plus x squared plus x, that is one term. And lastly, it is minus 6, that is equal to 0. Here, minus 5x, this minus 5x is split into minus 6 and plus 1. Here, when I look at these terms, minus 6 and 1, I know it should have minus 6 and plus 6. So this is how we write it out. And here we go. That is the answer. 6 is the answer, not minus 1, because we should have a positive value, real number. That is the end of this question. I hope it is clear. If you have any doubts, please consider rewatching the video or posting your doubts in the comments. I hope you all will head on to the next video.